Welcome to the Nighttime Chronicles. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today's tales are about 3 Japanese ghost stories. I hope you enjoy. Make sure to like and subscribe for future spooky stories. Number 1. The School. My name is Sakura, and I am a second year in high school. After my dad had been laid off from his company in Tokyo, we moved to Kagawa Prefecture, his hometown. The new school that I was attending at the time was located in an old building that was built over 60 years ago, and rumors say that it is haunted by the spirits of the students who have been murdered there by a notorious serial killer decades ago. At first, I didn't believe in these silly stories, but then strange things started to happen. I would hear footsteps in the empty hallways, and sometimes I would feel bone-chilling breezes pass through me. One day, while I was studying in my empty classroom, I heard a voice whisper,
"Sakura."
I turned around, but there was no one there. I thought I was imagining things, so I went back to my books. But then, I heard something behind me dragging its feet across the floor. I quickly turned around to look, but again, there was nothing there. As time went on, the strange occurrences became more frequent and intense. I started to see ghostly figures out of the corner of my eyes and heard strange noises as if someone were gurgling water. One day, I stayed late after school to finish a big project due before summer break. As I was walking down the hallway going towards the stairs, I saw a figure standing at the end of the hallway where the stairs were. It was a young girl in a school uniform. At first, I thought it was just another student that had stayed late after school, like me. However, as I got closer to the stairs and consequently her, it was apparent that the girl's face was blue and her eyes as dark as night. I tried to run, but my legs wouldn't move. I was paralyzed with fear. The girl fell onto her hands and started to crawl towards me, and as she got closer, I could see that her uniform was tattered and covered in blood. I screamed, but no sound came out of my mouth. I closed my eyes as tight as I could, expecting the worst. But when I opened them again, the girl was gone. I never went back to that school again after that day. I still have nightmares about that haunted place. I will never forget the terrors that I felt there, and I warned anyone I could to avoid that place, and for whoever enters that school to be careful. Number 2. The Bridge. I wanted to get away from the bustling of Tokyo, so I decided to take a vacation to the Shizuoka Prefecture, a rural countryside of Japan. One day, while wandering through a forest, I stumbled upon an old bridge high atop a hill. It was ancient, made of wood and stone, and it looked like it had been there for centuries. As I approached the bridge, the sun started to set. I felt an eerie presence surrounding it. The air grew cold, and I could hear the sound of footsteps echoing across the bridge, even though no one was there. I hesitated for a moment, but my curiosity got the best of me, and I decided to attempt to cross the bridge. As I stepped onto the bridge, I heard a creaking sound. The wood beneath my feet felt soft and unstable, like it could crumble at any moment. I took slow steps, hoping to make it across safely, but then I saw something that made me freeze in terror. On the other side of the bridge, there was a figure. It was a lady dressed in a grimy kimono. She was facing away from me, sitting down on the ground. I turned back hastily and carefully started walking in the direction I came from. But then, I could hear footsteps getting closer. They became louder and louder as it rattled the bridge, and within seconds I could feel her breath on my neck. I turned around quickly and saw nothing behind me. I continued walking across the bridge, but then suddenly I felt something grab onto my ankle. As I looked down, I could see her, the lady in the kimono, half her body hanging off the side of the bridge, her face disheveled and rotten with a smile that pierced through me. I struggled to get my ankle free, but once I did, I sprinted across the rest of the bridge. As I got to the bottom of the hill where I first saw the bridge, I turned around to see the lady standing on the rails of the bridge, watching me with her empty eyes. I later found out from the locals of that area that the bridge was haunted by a vengeful spirit of a woman who had been wrongfully accused of a crime and hanged from the bridge for her punishments there many centuries ago. The locals said that I was truly lucky to have escaped her grasp and that I should find a monk to be cleansed. To this day, I still have nightmares about the bridge and the lady in the kimono. Number 3. Test of Courage. There was a group of 5 teenage girls who lived in Japan. They were close friends and spent most of their time together, sharing stories and secrets. One day, they decided to test their courage, also known as kimodameshi. The group heard about a haunted house on the outskirts of town, and they decided to test their courage there. As they approached the house, they felt a sense of unease. The house looked old and abandoned, with overgrown weeds, and had a foul odor. They hesitated for a moment, but then decided to enter. As they walked through the dusty rooms on the first floor, they heard strange noises coming from upstairs. As this was a test of courage, they decided to investigate. They crept slowly up the stairs and then down the hall where the noises were coming from. The group found themselves in a bedroom with many old dolls that had unnaturally long hair sitting on the beds and shelves. Suddenly, one of the dolls started to move. Its eyes blinked, and its arms and legs twisted in unnatural ways. The girls bolted out of the room and down the hall where the stairs were. They immediately turned back to see not the doll, but a very tall figure of a woman, the top of her head touching the ceiling, with long hair and a trench coat, walking towards them. The girls were frozen with fear, unable to move or speak, and feeling the coldest chills run through their bodies. But one of the girls finally worked up the courage to tell her friends to run out of the house, snapping them all out of the trance they were in. The girls ran out past the house's yard and turned to see if the ghost was still coming after them. They saw the silhouette of the tall lady at the front door. The girls did not hesitate to run this time. From that day on, the girls never ventured into haunted places again, as they had finished their one and only kimodameshi. They wondered who that tall lady was that was haunting that house and why the lady was so tall. They knew that there were things in this world that they couldn't explain, and they were grateful that no one had gotten hurt. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and tell us what other types of stories you guys might enjoy. See you guys in the next video.